Hey, sparrows. So last week we learned about every spiritual blessing has been given to us in Christ. But you know what? There's more. And today we are going to discover God's limitless power. Let's look at Ephesians 1:19. This is when Paul was praying for the Ephesians. So I also pray that you will understand the incredible greatness of God's power for us who believe him. This is the same mighty power that raised Christ from the dead. You will understand. Understand what? Know what? Some translation says you will understand. Some translation says you will know. So understand what? Know what? It says the incredible greatness of God's power. And who is this for? It is for us who believe him. And some translation says it is in us who believe. And faith releases this power. So this word power in verse 19 is the Greek word dunamis. So I looked up dunamis in the concordance. It says force, miraculous power, strength, power, ability. So dunamis denotes miracle power. It is the ability of God to do marvelous works. It demonstrates his power. And this dunamis power is for us who believe. Okay, let's continue. This is the same mighty power that raised Christ from the dead. Whoa, did you hear that? Did you hear the verse? The power God has for us or in us is the same mighty power that raised Christ from the dead. Okay, let's pause here. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine we are going back to more than 2,000 years ago. Jesus just died in the dark stillness. There is his cold, lifeless body of Jesus. His body is laying in the garden tomb. His body is cold. No CPR, no resuscitation. Jesus is dead. Suddenly, this resurrection power of God comes in. Instantly, Jesus is alive. His eyes open. Jesus is raised from the dead. This is the resurrection power of God that makes Christ alive. Now open your eyes. Can you see that? Wow. So let's look at the words that used to describe this resurrection power of God. I looked up from different translations. Immeasurable, incredible, incomparably, exceeding, unlimited, surpassing greatness. Wow, look at all these words. The resurrection of Jesus is the highest display of God's power, which is permanent and eternal. So talking about permanent and eternal, this power is different from the power that raised Lazarus from the dead in the book of John. Lazarus' resurrection was temporary. He still had to die a second time. But Jesus' resurrection was permanent and eternal. Jesus defeated the power of death. He is the death conqueror. And not only that, sparrows, when Lazarus was raised from the dead, it was only one person. The resurrection of Jesus Christ not only raised Jesus' body from the dead, it supernaturally raised up the entire number of believers from death to life. And now believers are made right with God. Believers receive eternal lives and resurrected bodies, from hopelessness to hope, from death to eternity. And this is only by God's grace, not because of what we have done. And this power of God is made available for you and for me. So this resurrection power of God makes you an overcomer. Okay, let's do our power pump. Let's do this together. This resurrection power of God makes you an overcomer. This resurrection power of God makes you into more freedom. This resurrection power of God brings you into a supernatural victory. So I'm praying for you, Noah. You have God's resurrection power in you. You are an overcomer. Freedom and victory for you. Can I have a fist bump? Fist bump, Noah. Yay! Now, yeah, you have God's resurrection power in you. You are an overcomer. Freedom and victory for you. Fist bump, now, yeah. Yes! Good job. Max, you have God's resurrection power in you. You are an overcomer. Freedom and power for you. Fist bump, Max. Yay! Hope, you have God's resurrection power in you. You are an overcomer. Freedom and victory for you. Fist bump. Yes, Mary, you are an overcomer. Freedom and victory for you. You have God's resurrection power in you. Yes. Good job. So let's give God all the glory and praise as we walk in his power.